Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, part 2 of my continuing series of Minecraft videos with Nate from the NateZone. Let's get into that video right now. I am joined again today by Nate of the
Yeah, I'm
NateZone.
Nate. So yeah, I'm from the Nate Zone here. This is my zone around me here. But yeah.
You're insane in the membrane. There's a blast from your past. Uh, Thanks for joining us again. Our last
Yeah. Yep.
video we did together, I sure learned a lot. That was for certain.
It was a lot of fun.
Right?
I'm looking forward to doing this video as well. So
Cool.
this will be a lot of fun.
All right, so today we're going to build upon what we learned last time from Nate about
Yeah.
his Nadercraft world. So I'll just hand it over to you now and take it away, my friend.
All right, so we've done step 1 already in the previous video. Go check it out. It's an awesome video. But today we're going to be covering plugins and commands and plugins and protecting your world and using various plugins and using them to their best abilities. All right, let's get started, guys. So number one thing we got to do, we don't have plugins yet. We're going to go to whatever web browser you want to use. I use Chrome, and Joe has Chrome here on his virtual machine. So perfect. That works perfect. And we'll load that up. And then what you can do is you can go to spigot.org and get plugins there. And you can also go to Bucket and basically get plugins there as well. But what we're going to do is get some essential plugins here. So the first one that comes to mind is Essentials X. So we're going to type that in here.
And
And
what do
Essentials
these
X.
plugins do, or they just
So
have?
Essentials X is pretty much the name of the plugin. It basically gives you a bunch of commands that you can run that are essential for the server. For example, having warps and stuff around the world so that when you warp, you type -warp and then the name of the warp, and then you can go to whatever place is set as that warp. For example, a big cave that looks like Hogwarts, something like that.
Okay, I'm in.
So
You sold me.
yeah, let's
So
go to extensions.
that's what this one does, but they can have many
Oh yeah.
uses, correct?
Oh, there's a million
There's a
plugin like
plugin for
commands.
everything that ails you.
Oh my God, there's like a plugin for almost
Cool.
anything these days. But like Essentials X gives you the essential commands that are not present in vanilla Minecraft. So we're at the website here. I'm just gonna full screen it here. But basically we go to downloads here. You can run the development builds, which I don't recommend because they can be buggy and unstable, but I usually run stable branch here. And then the plugins that I run personally on my server are Essentials X. So we'll download that, which is the core of the plugin. And then chat is like a chat add-on to Essentials X. And then yada yada. Same with all the other ones down below. So we'll download chat. That chat, for example, can let you change the color of your name in the server and make it different Unicode format. But we can do Swan here, which will protect like regions that you set up. And then Discord, you can integrate your server with Discord so that you get notifications when people chat and stuff on Discord or die or leave the server or join the
Yeah,
server.
we'll have to look into that later.
Yeah.
That would be
I'm
cool.
not going to download Discord though, because
Right.
that
You're just
requires
trying
a
to keep the
whole other
basics.
video.
Right.
Yeah, just the basics. And then anti-build I don't touch because it basically disables people from building on the server. That's why it's called anti-build. Geo basically shows you where people are located that join your server, and it also can announce on your server when they join, hey, I'm from Australia, or I'm from New Zealand, or wherever.
So all these are additional add-ons, right?
Yes,
Okay, they're
exactly.
not. None of those are required then.
They're
Okay.
not required. And then protect is the other one I downloaded. Basically, it's similar to spawn. I think it just allows you to protect certain things, like allow or deny people from doing certain things. So XMPP is the chat messaging integration with other apps. I've never used that, so I really don't know much about it. But that's Essentials X. Let's get World Edit. That's another huge one that I used, and that's what I used to make Meadow Mountain Road in the video I uploaded today. But yeah, we'll go here. Actually, that's a mod. We always got to type in World Edit plugin, otherwise it will bring up the mod instead. So yeah, we'll go here to Bucket. So bucket.org, and we'll just download the latest file here. And if you notice, it says file here, and it shows you all the versions of the game. So like 1.19.3. So this works with 1.19.4. There's nothing to worry about there. It's pretty much compatible. So, and then another big one we'll get is World Guard, and that's also on Bucket. This is really old. These two plugins are really old. They've been around for a long time. And then we'll just go to file here, for example. And then you can see 1 day ago it was uploaded. So it's got some downloads on it. We'll click here on this arrow to download the file. And then let's see. Another one that we can get is Luck Perms. That's kind of like a whole video on its own, though, honestly. But we'll get that, and we'll go here to download. And then we want to get it for Bucket. And then I think, let's think. Let's get Chunky plugin. So if you type in Chunky, it might bring up the wrong thing. So, and then we'll download. Basically, if we go here to updates, you can see they have the change logs and everything, but all we need to do, actually version history here, will also show you the versions of the plugin. So you can see this one is from December 15th last year, but it still works. So we'll download it. All right. And let's see what else. I'm going to bring up my plugins list. Oh, you know what? I got another plugin I thought of. Via version is another big one I use. And then via backwards as well. That'll be next. So via version allows you to join on the server with a older version of the clients. For example, the server's on 1.19.4 and your client's 1.19.2. And then you try to connect to the server with via version installed on it, it will let you on, even though there's a version mismatch, basically. Otherwise, it wouldn't let you on if you had didn't have this plugin, basically.
Interesting. So it overcomes the limitation of
Yes.
whatever launcher you're using, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And there are alternate launchers as well for Minecraft. You don't have to use the one from Microsoft, is my understanding. But that's a whole other level. That's a whole other level. So
yeah, it's a whole different video. And then another plugin we're going to need is Vault. This is like a essential plugin to make other plugins work. So it's kind of like a dependency plugin. So download that. Vault is really outdated, but it still works, which is amazing. And then another plugin I have that will probably have to cover in another video is called Drive Backup V2. Basically, it allows you to back up your world on a set interval to Google Drive. Basically,
that would be an incredible plugin. Yes.
Yeah. And I would just give you my config, Joe, and then you just change out a couple of the lines in the config file.
Cool.
And then basically connect it to your drive rather than mine, because my drive link is in the config.url, the config file, basically. And that would be great for having periodic backups. So like every 3-6 hours, and you can set a limit to how many backups you have before it overrides the first backup. So I have mine set to like 20. I think either 10 or 20 backups before it overrides the first one, so that I'm not using up all the space in my Google Drive.
In fact, I just did a backup today because I didn't want to lose all that hard work we did on my cave system. So, but I had to stop the server and then copy the folder over to the backup machine and restart the server. So, yeah. And right now the server's down because you are actually on that virtual. What's really funny is we're running Zoom through OBS, and then giving him remote control of a virtual machine in my office running under Hyper-V. So through Zoom that he has remote control of. Don't ask me how we made all this. Magic. It's magic, boys and girls.
It is magic. All right, so I think we have the bare essential plugins that I use. Now there are more that I use, but they're
Did you just say bare essentials?
Yes.
You've got more tabs open on your browser than I've ever had open in my life. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of tabs open. So we'll go here to NativeCraft, and yeah, I have quite a bit of plugins on my server, but there's still some that I haven't covered in this video topic, but they're not really that important. But yeah, so we'll go to your downloads folder here. Actually, I wish you had tabs. Man, that'd be nice. I'm so used to tabs now in Windows 11. So yeah, yeah. All right, and then we'll just basically just cut these into the NativeCraft folder, and we'll go to basically plugins. This is where all the plugins are housed and their config files. So into the root, yes, and bstats, don't ever delete that. That's like a necessary folder. It's like it's a I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah. So I'm waiting to see if we start up the server if there's going to be any conflicts with like plugins missing dependencies. I don't know if there's any other dependencies we're missing here, but I'm going to start it up and just see what happens. So
I
it's
live on the edge. You should too.
yeah. It says, please download a new build. It's basically telling us that our paper build is outdated.
Wow.
So that is something with regular maintenance that you should keep up on,
Okay.
is getting a new paper jar on, at least if it's on the same version as the old one, so that you're not messing up plugins if you go to the newer version of Minecraft. You got to be really careful when you do that kind of stuff, but it's not too hard to do, once you wrap your brain around how it works. So yeah, it looks like it's starting up fine. I'm not really seeing anything crazy happening that's like red. Oh my God, it's the end of the world kind of text. Yeah. All right. Well, it said done. It's 23 seconds. So I'm going to scroll up here and just see if anything alerted. And so far, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh man, that was easy. I thought we were gonna have to go out and play with a bunch of config files, and or
Yeah.
is that what we got to do next?
Well, that's kind of, yeah. I mean, but you can, or you don't really, it
How about
depends
I just
on,
be quiet and
yeah.
watch what happens and
Um,
learn?
it's, I mean, you can change config files here, like the drive backup would be one I would change immediately. But I don't want to hook that up yet because obviously we're too early into this process. But basically,
Oh,
what I would
sorry.
do now is just stop the server. So you want to always type stop, never close out of it unless it's
Right,
the
we learned
worst
that.
case scenario.
Yeah, we learned that
Yeah,
last week.
yep. And then what I'm going to go do here is just go through the plugins here and just look
Oh,
if
it
there's
created
anything.
folders and everything.
Yes, the
Okay.
folders will house the configs and stuff like that.
Okay, so what happens
So,
is Minecraft boots up, sees these plugins in the
mhm,
plugins folder,
yep.
and then runs their basic setup, which creates a basic
Mhm,
YAML file or config file and a folder for it.
yep.
That's
hmm
cool.
Here, I'll go into one. So you can see we have cache worlds. So this is like the world config, basically for each world. So for example, we'll edit this one.
And I
And so
said
this is
YAML
per
because
world.
I'm just familiar with the nomenclature.
Yeah.
YAML is just basically a config file.
So this one doesn't have really much in it. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah. All right. So we'll go to this config.yml, which is the root one for, I guess, all the worlds. So for example, uh, this is the world guard config, so we can change these parameters here. So they're,
Now, I think this was used at Unky Joe's Playhouse because I told whoever it was that configured my server all the while back, we'll need to check it. But to
mhm,
disable TNT, I didn't want people blowing
yeah,
up my stuff,
yeah,
my
that's something I was
creations.
about ready to do
Yeah.
actually. So you can disable TNT in essentials too, and all these things. So I prefer doing it in essentials. I don't
Okay,
know
cool.
why. I'm just kind of weird, but essentials I just think is
No,
better
and
to
that's why
work
we're
with.
here today is to do it your way.
Yeah, yeah.
We can always I'm sure enough people will comment in the comment section. That's not how I would do it. They're all out there.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so
So
carry
this is a
on.
config I'm really familiar with here. So I'm gonna go down. So the screen text tells you what each configuration item does, basically. So all you gotta do is read that and kind of get an idea of what these do. But let's go down here. So uh, du- 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 du. So spawn mob limit is one I would change. So when you type dash spawn mob, like for example, dash spawn mob creeper, and then like 100, it'll spawn 100 creepers. That can kill your server performance. So what I typically set it to is 5 at a time, so they can only do a max of 5 with each command. So yeah, I'll set that to 5.
Boy, that would be great on it when we because we're also going to play around with the test server. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna put Minecraft on one of these big old honking servers and give it the whole thing, all the
Oh
RAM and all
man.
the CPUs, and then we'll turn
Wow.
spawn monsters onto like I don't know 1,000
Oh
and
my
just see
god.
what happens. You know that would be
Yeah.
fun.
So enabled signs, this is something that I do. So basically we can just get rid of the hashtag or the pound sign, whatever you call it. And basically I set these up so buy, so you can, if you right click or left click a sign, it if basically will do an action. For example, if you're wanting to buy cobblestone to build a cobblestone mansion, and the sign says buy cobblestone for $64 in like currency on a plugin or something like that, it will let you use the buy command on signs if you get rid of the pound sign here. And then sell, so we'll do that for sell too. We'll do it basically for trade, we'll do it for free, and we'll do it for balance. And then we'll do it for warp. Warp is one of the ones I have set up. We'll do kit. We'll basically just do all of these, basically. But I don't want to do all of them right now. I want to move on here. But basically, I would have just taken all these off, not for my server, but just for an economy-based server. Yeah, my server is based on trade, basically trading items instead of currency.
I like the way
So
how the config file has links. If you go up
yeah,
to the top of that
yeah, right here.
selection, yeah, it has a
Yeah,
link that tells you how to in more
yeah,
detail, like what Nate is telling us. That's
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, how many times per second that signs can be interacted per player. So if we lower this number, it will make the server lag less. So I would just do 2, and that would help with performance slightly, just very slightly. And let's see. Remove God on disconnect. I think mine's set to true, so it turns off God mode. Basically, if you turn that on, basically that's an admin command on my server. So I would have to like, you'd have to ask permission for it basically, or I would just give it to you if you're not like a full member or admin on my server. And then auto AFK basically is how long it takes in seconds before you go AFK. And so 300 is pretty good. I think 300 is like what, how many minutes? Like 5 minutes or something like that. And then
Yeah, it's
auto
5 minutes.
AFK kick is basically, this will kick you after a certain amount of seconds off the server, basically, so that a player slot is redeemed, basically. So we'll I don't know. We'll make this. How about 1,000 seconds? Which I don't know what that is, but basically after 1,000 seconds, you'll be kicked from the server if you're not active at all. And then freeze AFK players, pretty self-explanatory. It will freeze you in place if you're AFK. I don't have that turned on my server. I think it's kind of dumb. So yeah, let's see. Cancel AFK on interact. So if you like, basically,
So
yeah,
if you
do an
do that
action or
action,
something.
it won't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If you like start walking
it'll
or
turn it off.
start moving tools or swords or something,
Right.
then yeah. So basically, yeah. And then the same with this. And let's go down here.
Sleep as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sleep doesn't count as away from keyboard.
Yeah. So broadcast AFK message. It'll alert players on your server if somebody just went AFK, like in the chat. All right. Custom join message. So basically, mine. I'm gonna pull mine up here. Let's go to essentials here. You can basically use these here. These, I forget what they're called, but basically what you see here is you put it into a format here. Mine is like this. Oops. So mine is and e. User name
And the word you were looking for is those are variables,
joined.
I think.
So basically it would be this and then left Nadercraft for down here basically. But these basically these little things here are the color that's after it. So for example, Andy, I don't remember what color that is, but basically it would color this part right here. And then ANB would color this part right here. So use custom server full message. So that's true. Basically, it'll make a file where you can edit what it says basically. So, yeah, this is another one here. Delay the message of the day. Basically, when you log into the server, it'll give you a message of the day down in your chat section, and you can configure the crap out of that. You can make anything you want. So mine is set to 2,000 milliseconds. So you can see right here, it'll delay it for 2,000 milliseconds, then it'll pop it up. So it's more noticeable when you join. And I'm going to scroll down now to the section where we like change block permissions for like TNT and stuff and mobs and stuff.
And this is another reason I put Notepad plus plus as a standard install on
Yeah,
every computer I make.
me
You don't
too.
see all these colors and everything on
Yeah.
Notepad. You've got to have this program or one like it that can interpret those
Yeah.
fields and commands. But it makes
So
it damn
basically,
easy to edit
yeah.
and get around it.
So here we go. This is the section I like to change and tweak a lot. So prevent, basically when you use prevent, so prevent lava flow, false. Prevent fire spread, true. So that's good. And lava fire spread, true. Prevent that. Prevent flint fire, false. Prevent, you get the point. So prevent TNT explosion. I'm going to set that to true. So, and then TNT player damage, I'm going to leave that false so that when TNT does explode, actually it doesn't explode, so that will null and void this, but item damage, basically it won't happen.
So you could leave the explosion on but turn the damage off.
Yeah, because
Ooh,
if
that'd
it
be
doesn't
cool.
explode, basically
It can't damage, yeah.
it can't do anything.
It goes
So
poof.
it just disappears. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I just never I had to wrap my mind around how that was going to work. So thank you.
Yeah. And then fireball, this basically ghasts. The ghasts are like the big white square boxy creatures that look like an octopus in the nether. They shoot fireballs at you when you're in survival. And basically you can disable their fireball explosions from doing, oh, what did I do there? That was weird. But I reversed that text. But yeah, you get the point. It just I could set it to disable it. So we're gonna prevent that from happening. And creeper explosion, I leave that to false, but I leave block damage to true, so it doesn't damage blocks and leave craters everywhere. So
If you put firewall explosion on true, it's going to explode, right?
no, because it says prevent.
Oh, prevent. Oh, duh.
Yeah.
See, I just bragged about how smart I was. It didn't read the top line. Carry on.
That's about it in this config. I mean, I would go through all of these too right here. And basically, I mean, I actually think I haven't touched this at all in my server because I still want people to be able to spawn stuff if we're like having fun or something. But yeah, I'm just going to file and save. Basically, that's the basic things I would touch. There's probably a little bit more digging I would do. I'd actually read every single command and what it does thoroughly if I was on my server. But for the sake of time, I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. So that might have not been so simple for some of you guys, but I tried to keep it as fast as I could. So at this point, I would just hop on the server, and start doing things. So I'm going to start it up and see if we messed up the config file. So let me go back here and start server. And it will usually tell you if the config file is borked. Usually if you put like I don't know, like you tabbed in the file and you left a tab, because then it will like say invalid config, YAML's not working, something like that when it starts up. So that's where you go to YAML Farser online. You can find them online easily and then put your config in there and then fix the problems. It will tell you where it's at. All right, guys. So we're here on this beautiful plains biome. Yeah. So I'm going to set a spawn point. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make a very simple spawn point here in creative mode. So -GMC means game mode creative. So we'll do that. And then I want to make a marker in the ground where spawn is. So I'm going to get gold, basically a gold block. And then I'm going to get basically a frog light. I'm going to make it actually purple because I like purple. And then I'm going to get some glass.
Did you say grass?
So, glass. All right. So
Never
right
mind
here.
what I just said.
That was funny. Yeah. So right here, where this gold block is, it's going to be spawn. So we're going to put lights around it so it's lit up at night. We'll place the lights in the ground here. So here's the thing about setting spawn. There's a couple commands you need to run to make sure that spawn is set for a plugin and for vanilla Minecraft. So whatever direction you face with your player, your camera basically is whatever direction you're going to spawn with when you set the commands basically. So I'm going to face west here and I'm going to do -set spawn, and basically that sets a spawn for the default group. When new people join the server, this is where they'll spawn. And then -set world spawn is the vanilla command for the vanilla game, and I'll enter on that. So this sets the spawn point here instead of where it was before when we first loaded into the world on the last video.
Yeah, and what I love on this screen is if you look in the upper left-hand corner, those coordinates match what it took the snapshot of down there.
Yeah.
And you even have a compass.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Yeah.
is that part of? What plugin put all that in there?
No, that's part of Lunar Client. Anything on
screen. Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because when I was digging the other day, that sure would have come in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so nice to have. And you can make the UI smaller so it's not so in your face.
I was just curious, so I had to interject and ask.
So basically, when you type -spawn, you're going to see it's going to take us right to where I was. Boom, just like that. So spawn is a command that
if you ever get lost,
have access to. Yeah,
basically. I'm lost and I can't find my mommy and daddy.
All right, and I'm going to do another example with a similar thing. It's called set home. So basically, I'm going to go up to this top of this mountain here. I'm going to set my home right here. I'm going to pretend I'm going to have a home right here. So I'm going to do -set home, and that will set my home here. Now, what's also cool is I'm going to go over here by the river. I'm going to do -set home 2. So I have 2 homes set now. So if I go back to spawn and I go -home, actually -home, see, I'm on top of the mountain. But if I do -home 2, actually that's underscore, my bad, it'll take me to the river. So you can have your server set up with basically, if you want, you can have people have multiple homes. Mine is set, I think everybody has 5 homes by default in the default group, basically, so that people have more than one home. Because I am trying to have people have as many homes as possible on my server so that the server is populated with buildings and stuff, basically. And I like that a lot. So basically, we're going to do warps now. So I'm going to go over to this forest here on the coast, to this beach here. I'm going to do -set warp. I'm going to name it beach. So if we go back to -spawn, and then we type -warp, and then you can see it brings it up here. I'll just tab it, beach. Hey, we're at the beach, but it's nighttime. So look at that. Yeah. All right. So now let's say you want to protect spawn so that people cannot destroy these blocks here, you're going to want to type --wand, and this is the world edit function along with the world guard function. They both work hand in hand. So I'm going to set a area around here. Basically, you left click and then you right click. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do --expand, which will make the region go any direction, up or down, left or right, anyway. And so I'm going to do expand. I'm going to do basically, how about 12 and then up, or U works fine too. So that expanded my selection 12 blocks up, basically. I'm going to do the same one, but I'm going to put D for down. And then I'm going to put expand, how about 3 west. So we just expanded it. So now I think that's a pretty good region size for this. So what we're going to do to protect it now is a world guard command called -region define. I'm going to name it spawn. So basically, a new region called spawn has been set, and it's warning me that it's overlapping the vanilla spawn protection. That's why I would disable spawn protection in the server.properties and make it 0, because having them overlap is just quite annoying, honestly. But basically, this is protected. So if you do the honors, Joe, deop me, basically. Actually, I'll do it myself. Deop NateMan. So I'm no longer an operator, so I'm a default user now. If I tried to break these, it should not work. Look at that. It's not working. I can't break anything in this region. Nothing's working now. If I go out here,
you very bad man. You very bad man. Trying to break my Minecraft. Very bad man.
Yes. So look, it said, sorry, you cannot break here. Oh, well, I can break
Attention,
right here.
police. There's very bad man trying to break my Minecraft. Please send police right away. You very bad man.
I am outside the region here, and if I dig this way, eventually I will hit the region here. So if we, I don't know, if we go, oh, I hit the border. Look at that.
Wow, that's cool. So not necessarily protecting the whole game, which you can do as well, but you're protecting the spawn area. So you could do that command with anything else. Like if you had a town hall and you wanted to protect it, you would basically draw a magic salt circle around it and do your incantation, and like you did earlier, and it's protected. Yeah,
that's correct, though.
Cool. All right, so we're going to end the video right here for today, and we'll come back with the rest of this. Nate and I did a lot more work with Minecraft, and you're going to see that in the next release of the video coming up here in a week or two. So you have that to look forward to. I just wanted to do a shout out to Nate. Thank him again for taking the time to help me understand Minecraft, not only how to play it, but on the back end and how to manage it. And hopefully you're getting something out of these videos too. I know we sure did enjoy making them. So hopefully you found these videos entertaining and informative. As always, smash that like button on your way out. Leave your comments down in the comments section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Come back and see us again, and please don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.